the analysis processes are still under General. So right-click here, Create. Okay, first we need an info provider. So I'm going to click here. We've already seen this subsection. We've already seen this subsection before. So under info provider, remember we could select from a lot of databases there, but it's store DSO that we're looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it just like that. And now to field selection. Under field selection, we will need the census region. We will need to click on census region and click on the left arrow. And click on till it's store data and left arrow. So these are the two characteristics we're using. Under fields or key figures, we're going to be using everything. So I'm just actually clicking on the first one, shift clicking on the last one, and then clicking on the left arrow. I could have just selected them one by one as well, but this is basically the data we need. And now I'm going to click on OK. We're done with our input provider. The next step is to choose this clustering model. The clustering model has to be connected to the data provider, input provider. And I will have to click on the clustering model, right-click on it, and choose Properties. Under Properties, the model itself will have to be selected, which was our mktg663 underscore last name underscore clustering model 1. Okay, so this went through. And now I'm going to click OK. There is a problem with the connection between the info source and the clustering model. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to right-click and then click on Properties. And I'm going to click on Connect Same Info Object. So it's basically going to automatically take all the database fields that I had, and it's going to connect them from the info provider to the model by the same name, and it went all correctly. I'm going to click OK. Let's activate the process. So just click on the magic wand icon, and it's going to prompt for the name. So it's mktg663, last name, clustering, process 1. Okay, here it is. So it was activated. I'm going to execute it now with the next icon, execute. And it's working through it. And the results are displayed. Everything was a success. So let us go to the results. I'm going to back up from here with the exit sign. Leave the process behind. Back up from here with the exit sign as well. Now go into data mining models. There is a shortcut though between those two, but I'm doing this long tree-like structure right now. So it's data mining models, and now into clustering, and I'll open up everything on clustering actually. So a bunch of things there. Let me pause until I find the correct one. And here it is, mktg663 and the correct one. So I'm going to right click on it and change. I could have taken display option, but then I would have explicitly needed to click display change here up here somewhere to go into change mode. Anyways, now here are the results already. So I'm going to click on the results. This is the result. Okay. And what we see here is a influence chart. So what we see is that all the stores were divided. There were all in all 334 stores, and they were divided into 10 clusters. Cluster 1 contained only one store, so this store was so peculiar it demanded a cluster of its own. And there is also kind of the influence chart, which shows that the census region is actually the most important thing that influences the clustering. The clusters, the cluster percentages, how many stores are in what, are displayed on this pie chart, and so are the cluster numbers, the numbers of stores in each cluster. These are displayed up here as well. Next, I'm going to click on Value Distribution button. So let's see that. I'm going to have to pause until it fetches everything from the internet and University of Arkansas. So here they are. Let's turn our attention to one specific case. Namely, here we have for each census region, we have how many stores in cluster 1 pertain to a specific census region. Remember, cluster 1 was just one store, so it seems to have a missing value there. But regarding cluster 2, we can see that cluster 2 is all contained of Midwest stores. So, and actually all the Midwest stores went into, all the total stores that were in Midwest did go into that cluster. So Midwest, the census region Midwest, must have been so important in determining cluster 2 that all the Midwest stores went into that cluster 2. And this is the way we try to kind of drill through this information, find some interesting traits, and interpret them. One further thing to click is Attribute Data. And here, for instance, if we take a look at the bachelor percentage, we can see that for cluster 2, the bachelor percentage is divided in such a way that out of those who have bachelor's degree in 10 to 15% of population or customers, there are 4 such cluster 2 stores. And then there are 17 cluster 2 stores which have a bachelor's percentage between 15 and 20%. So kind of another tool to visualize. And we can see here that as cluster 2 is quite like has a kind of quite a bit more equal distribution, we can see that cluster 3 has more in a bit higher, let's just say in a bit lower range as compared to cluster 4, which has a bit higher percentage of bachelor degrees, and cluster 5 has an even higher one. So that's how we can compare clusters and kind of make sense of the data.